Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here for this post-lunch session. I know this is post-lunch, so I will get your attention higher than ever. My name is Andrea Sempi. I co-founded Emotiva. We are an artificial intelligence company, and we empower global brands to maximize creative effectiveness at scale with AI-driven solutions. What does it mean? We use our cutting-edge technology to provide decision maker with fast, reliable, and actionable insight on attention and emotion. So you can have the full picture to the content that resonates to the audience. So today, I'm thrilled to be on stage alongside Fabrizio Caranci, Executive Director, Global Digital Innovation at Angelini Pharma, and Luigi Boaretto, Managing Director at ASTHERIA. Let's start with an uncomfortable truth. Brands waste 300 billion a year on wrong content, and you are part of that. 300 billion on content, considering 1 trillion on media and advertising investment globally. So that means we have a huge problem. It's a huge amount of money that is wasted. And the reason behind that are several. The main one is that people lack of attention. We are human, so we are distracted by nature. Then you have the missing emotional bond with that target, and so we are distracted. And this missing emotional bond is created from wrong content because it's not properly emotionally designed. But brands are trying to fix that, but they are using tools from another era, like survey, like focus group, like A/B testing. They are costly, they are time-consuming because it takes 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, and they are missing the implicit data. They are missing the non-verbal communication. So data without emotion is just noise. And what about emotion? Emotion are everything. 90% of our behavior is driven by emotion. So when we need to purchase something, we are driven by emotion. When we need to make some complex decision, we are driven by emotion. Probably you know that we are in a global trend about measuring attention because everyone is focusing on attention. Attention is the first part of the puzzle. So you need to take people attentive, do what I said before, but you need to understand what happened after that people is attentive. Because if you are generating negative emotion, people are more attentive. And this could be a problem if you measure only attention because you have higher score, but your impact is negative. So having both attention and emotion, so you need to be consistent with the emotion reaction to maintain attention because otherwise attention will fall down very quickly. You have the full picture, so you know that your content is effective on the target. So is where artificial intelligence meets human emotion. We developed a computer vision algorithm that measures microfacial activation, microfacial expression. This is the fastest reaction that a human can have. They appear between 20 to 40 milliseconds, and for this reason, they are unfiltered unfiltered data. So they are not filtered by your cognitive area. So we believe in what we do, and science back it up. In 2021, we founded a scientific and ethical committee. We are really deep-rooted with academic research, and Giuseppe Boccignoni is the president of the committee. He's a full professor of computer science at University in Milan. Then we take care about customers' data protection. So we are fully compliant with the GDPR law and the newcomer EU Artificial Intelligence Act. Now, what if you could predict emotion before you spend any euro? Now you can. Let me introduce you our two flagship solutions, Empower and Foresight. Both solutions work in the same space, so attention and emotion, but they work in a different stage of the workflow. Empower is the leading platform to measure attention and emotion on real people. So we measure real people, what you have seen in the video before, and you can use it also with cognitive part, so you can add questionnaire. Foresight is the first emotion predictive AI on the market. So you don't need people anymore. You just upload the content, and in 5 seconds, you get the result. So it's related specifically to the content. It's a prediction. So please, Luigi, please welcome to Luigi now.
Thank you, guys. I tried to do a test because, you know, after lunch is difficult. So you have seen this 1 billion of investment in advertising. You guess what are the most important sectors contributing to that million? And specifically, what do you think pharma is ranked in position? Is the number 1 spending sector? Is the number 2? The number 3? Is the number 4? What's your opinion?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Let's try. 15. Some else. Of 1 billion.
20.
No idea? Well, I tell you, we are the number 3. The first is fast-moving consumer goods. The second thing is retail, with 11%. And guess what? Pharma is 8%, just behind retail. So make your calculation. Let's see who is the fastest here. 8% to 1 million. And that's the result. But, you know, these guys, especially these two, believes that emotion has a role in the communication. Maybe that you know this guy that was the god of Nike, that developed everything about communication in Nike, and he discovered something that neuroscience understood very well. As humans, we decided what to do with the cortical brain, but actually we do with the limbic brain. We use just emotions. And that's the system 1, the system 2 that we have seen in the morning with the other lessons. So, what is the other news? That in this 8% is just the communication to consumer. But in pharma, we are spending a lot in communication which is not directly to consumer. Because for us, key stakeholders are doctors and patients too. So in that numbers, there is not the money that we spend there. And then came COVID. And finally, pharma understood that there is the digital. We are. Because,
Don't say
well, by the way, I'm now here as a consultant, but until 1.5 years ago, I was a chief marketing officer of a pharma company. So I know very well. This is what happened, this Viva data, to our content. We multiplied content because omnichannel needs content. Every time, a new content. Not every day, because the doctors get busy, but more or less. So, what to do? How to understand if a content is really impacting to our stakeholders? Well, Emotiva, which actually, I'm here to support just because I use it. So I was one of the guys that first used it in the pharma business. Gives 2 different tools. Foresight, you understand, is a predictive tool. So meaning that you upload, you have the result. Imagine that you could do a competitor analysis of all the ADV that your competitor is doing in the TV, in the radio, in the pharmacies, and you just try and see if there are some sweet spots where to go, where to address my communication, how to differentiate from the others. And then you start to create your team. Finally, also in the pharma business, we do have this content hub So it's not just brand managers that producing, but even big organization. Can be the two different solutions, but you need to understand solution A with solution B. What to do? Call a very expensive market research institution and wait 2-3 months, or you upload. And with the predictive solution that we will see later, you have the results. Then you go really on the storytelling validation. That's a case, for example, that we will see, all this we will see in the Angelini case. And finally, when you have the production, you can make fine-tuning. In the 30 seconds, what you will see later is that if you have a 20-30 seconds video, you can have second by second the emotion that you generate. And if there is something that is not coherent with your brand identity, then you can cut off and change. That's the power of foresight and the power of empower. And now I leave to Fabrizio to explain how he applied it to Angelini.
Now the real case. We show you now a demo of what we did in a very super fast way, I would say. First of all, let me introduce the brand is Tachifludec. Any Italian in the room? Tachifludec. Yes. It's an amazing innovation because it's, first of all, it's the market leader in the cold and flu market. And the innovation is that it's a hot drink. So imagine yourself, you're not feeling very well, a little bit sick, nose is running, a little bit of cold, the symptoms of flu. You heat your water like a tea, you put Tachifludec, you start to stir the spoon, you sit down on the couch, you're in front of the fireplace, you start to drink it, and you already feel better. It's magic of Tachifludec, my favorite brand ever in absolute in the market. So, Tachifludec, what is our story? Tachifludec has been in the market for quite a while. We have a commercial, a TV commercial, that is working very well, but has been there for a few years now. So our question to our colleagues was, does it still work? It still resonates, also in the current competition setting? New competitors coming in, new TV commercials coming in. Also, from an emotional and an attention perspective, how people react to the TV spot. Are there areas where we need to maybe improve it? Is still the reason behind making sense? And also, most important is the nasal decongestion message. For us, that is the key driver of our brand choice, and therefore we wanted to make sure that the relevance of that message was still perceived positively by our target. So we ran the test.
Okay. So what we have done, the context is everything. So we started to benchmarking the market. So we take the four main brand competitor, and we analyze that through foresight. So we used the predictive AI, as Luigi said before, because we get insight in minutes. Okay? So we tested the market, and we found that we can divide the advertising in two main areas. Two of them, VNC and Zerinol Flu, are the newest one, and they position into the emotional advertising. Basically, pharma company works in the functional advertising area, so problem, solution, communication, very, very straight to the point, using clarity.
But can we say even a bit boring?
A bit boring, yeah.
Always the same.
It will be a bit boring, yeah, exactly. And emotional TV starts from the problem, usually, but they add more spice to the story. So they add mood, they add humor, they add some other different emotion. And that's the result. They talk alone. Emotional engagement is the main matrix of foresight. It tells you how much people will be engaged by the content. And then you have attention. We reach 44, it's an average between the two, and attention 64%, it's an average between the two. But if you can see with the functional advertising difference, they scored less more. And we start from that. Then we took the Tachifludec TV commercial and we tested into Empower. So we measure it on real people. What you see on your left is AI tracking, where people are focusing their attention. And you see the patch works very well just at the beginning. On your right, you will see how the emotion profile are moving. So it directly connected to the frame, so you can see second by second what is happening. And just to be clear, the first part is relative to the problem. People felt sadness, the blue line, and this is properly correct to the message, so it's well designed. Then people came up with positive emotions, so the pink line is related to happiness, joy. So you will see the storytelling works at best because people felt negative into the problem, and then with the solution came up with the positive emotion. So good works for Angelini. Now you can close with the KPIs.
So from our point of view, I think the key question was, is the TV commercial still relevant? Still resonating to people, emotions? I mentioned before it was quite outdated. I can say it was almost 10 to 12 years old, right? So can you imagine now commercial from 2013, right? It seems ages ago. However, the outcomes were very positive, both from an emotional engagement as well as from a sustained attention, higher than the benchmark from the competitor that we saw before. And also, most important thing was the decongestion, the loss of the decongestant main message was recognized by 91%. So for us, the ultimate outcome of this work was, without spending with agencies for 3 months looking for focus groups or try to understand, do we need to change it? We got the answer in a matter of days, basically. Days.
Yeah, days.
And the answer is, still works, do not change it. Keep it as is. Maybe we can refresh the code, right?
That was my suggestion.
Exactly. We didn't need the power to make it happen, but I mean, it still works. So for us is green light, let's go on until something changes. We keep as is, and we don't need to invest on a creative agency, 300,000 euros for something that actually works already.
Exactly.
Thank you, Fabrizio, and that's because Angelini did quite a good job in the past, so that's a confirmation of the quality, but can be different, and we can use this tool for any other reasons. And as we want it to be fast as Empower is, we do have time for at least one question. So if some of you have a question, we will be happy to answer. After that, there will be even a game with a prize. So,
no questions?
No questions? Everything clear?
Probably they felt
Yeah, there is a question.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
Did he win something for the
No,
first question?
not yet.
Thank you for the presentation. I was puzzled, not sure I understood, when we see the heat map on the video, is this AI driven, or is there
AI-driven.
people that basically are trained on this?
In that case, it's AI driven.
Okay, and so what is the accuracy of the methodology?
What? Sorry?
The accuracy.
The accuracy on
Yeah,
tracking.
so do you have false positive, like
Well,
if...
I don't remember the exact number, but we are validated by MIT. We are in the 10th company around the world validated by MIT on that. Okay. So we are pretty sure about the result we gave.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So finally, we can go to the most interesting part, how to win something. So we wanted to offer this opportunity, actually, is a Emotiva, but I tried to convince them to do it. So there is a game, but we need your phone. So you need to take your phone. Exactly. We have a competitors here that started already with a phone. So please compete with her, because the next slide will be a QR code. And the first one that will scan the QR code will win for the first 3 submissions, one Empower analysis, which means the use of the tool with the real panels, or with the real humans. And for all the other submissions will be a 7 days of trial of the predictive tool, which is Foresight. So
raise your phone, please.
Steady, ready, go.
Wow.
Thank you for the attention, and thank you for following us. And have a good afternoon.
When will be the winner announced?
come to our booth and we say, there is a trick.
Okay.
You know the recording time of
so
everyone.
we're waiting all of you at our booth, and then
Yeah.
we will see which are the results and who are the winner. Thank you again for
So
attention.
thank you to all.